Aloha, welcome to A Course in Miracles, Workbook for Students. We're working on the review, and today we're reviewing lessons 99 and 100. This is lesson 115. And, you know, we can read, you could even memorize portions or large portions of A Course in Miracles. You could be able to quote it, you could know it, all the lessons mean. But that's different from really having these ideas and these lessons as a part of you, as a part of your normal reaction to life, as your habit of life. And that's one of the reasons why it's important for us to do these lessons as often as we can without missing them, like every 30 minutes at the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour. Even if you don't understand some of the concepts, you're making it your life's practice. You're making it the way that you respond to this world. So I just wanted to throw that in. It's kind of what the introduction to the review was telling us, that we want to make these ideas a habit. Something that, you know, a habit is spontaneous. You don't really even have to think about it. It's just like, the way children play. They don't really think about what they're doing, what they're saying so much as they're just in the present moment, and that's the way they are. They're just being themselves. And that's sort of where we're headed with A Course in Miracles and with these lessons. And following these directions is really a big part of that. So I just want to throw in a little encouragement for me and for you to really, the best that we can, to do these lessons throughout the day. For morning and evening and the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour, here's the lesson for today. Lesson 115. Salvation is my only function here. That's our morning lesson. Salvation is my only function here. And we've covered this idea before, but we want to really look at it afresh here. My function here, what is our function? It is to forgive the world for all the errors that I have made. Isn't that interesting? Not that they have made, but I have made. Because we're one, and we're always, the Course teaches us, forgiving ourselves. In the Bible, in the Gospels, Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself. Why? Because your neighbor is yourself. And when you're giving, we learn you're also receiving. Giving and receiving are the same. So my function here is to forgive the world for all the errors that I've made, for thus am I released from them with all the world. So that's our function on the earth, to forgive ourselves for the errors that we've made, and therefore we release ourselves and the world. Because if we don't forgive ourselves often, we just project our errors onto other people. And that's why sometimes I think that we see people that really rub us the wrong way, even to the point of hatred, because they mirror back to us those things that we want to think that we're rid of, that we've gotten rid of them by projection, so that we can feel the innocent one and they're the guilty one. We even do this, the Course teaches, with God. But you can't get rid of it that way, the Course teaches, because you still feel the guilt. You often don't even know why you're feeling guilty. But that is our function here today. And at the top of the hour, salvation is my only function here. My function here is to forgive the world for all the errors I have made, for thus I am released from them, my errors, with all the world. And what is the world? What is the world? Well, the Course teaches that there's nothing outside of us. We tend to think of the world as being all that's outside of us. But the Course teaches there's nothing. Ultimately, what we must learn is that there's nothing outside of us. So all of this that we think of as being outside of us is really inside of us. But it's not just in me. The world, the whole universe is in me, and the whole universe, the whole world is in you. And I'm in you, and you're in me. For we are one. It's kind of like fractals. If you know what fractals are like, it's like each image in a fractal is made up of identical images. The smaller and smaller you get. And if you break a fractal, still in both images or both parts of the fractal, you still have the whole, or the image of the whole. And that's kind of like the way we are. We're all created in the image of God, and God is the whole. And in each one of us, even though we may feel that we are separated, we really aren't. We never have been separated from the whole. And we're all like little microcosms, in a sense, of the macrocosm, which is all there is. So, by forgiving ourselves, we release, when we, in our brother, we forgive our brother, and thus we're forgiving ourselves, and we free each other that way. And the second part to today's lesson is, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. And what is my part? Well, we just saw it's to forgive. Each of us, that's our part in God's plan for salvation. I'm essential to the plan of God for the salvation of the world, for He gave me His plan that I might save the world. And remember, the world is in you, and you're the Savior of the world. And God has given you the plan to save the world and yourself. So those are our ideas that we're going to practice today, twice an hour, in the morning and in the evening. So on the hour, salvation is my only function here. And on the half hour, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. So that's our lesson for today, our review of lessons 99 and 100. So as you go throughout the day, I'm hoping that it's really beginning to settle in our minds that practicing, actually remembering to practice this at the beginning of the hour, or just take a minute or 5 minutes and just let that idea come into our mind, and then we give it to our mind to use however it wants. And then at the bottom of the hour, again, so that we really begin to not just know the words on the page, but it's starting to become our very way that we experience life, perceive the world, and the way we react to the world. Naturally and spontaneously, with these new ideas as our motivation for the things that we do. So God bless you today, and I love you, my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Aloha.